Welcome to Dear Husband, Dear Wife by Danny and Jenny Fuentes, a podcast about dating, marriage, sex, relationships, and faith, where we keep it real, unscripted, and rooted in the truth. Hope you enjoy the next episode as you tune in.
Hello. Welcome to Dear Husband, Dear Wife. This is Danny.
And I'm Jenny.
Welcome back.
2025.
2025. Happy 2025.
Happy 2025, everyone.
We have just, a lot of things have happened in 2024. So, which will explain our absence.
Yeah. A lot of change. Mental health, personal leaves of absences, career and job changes.
Sorry. Yeah.
So
job changes, career stuff, health.
Yeah.
Health issues on my end.
Yeah. So if you
now we're back.
Yeah. If you want to know a little bit more about these things, we do share them in our newsletter. So if you are a couple or a single person, male or female, you can totally sign up for our newsletter.
Yeah. And
you can access that through our website at dannyandjenny.com. So really totally encourage you. We don't bombard your inbox. It's only once a month, if anything, twice a month. But other than that, it also updates you when our episodes are out and whatnot.
Yeah.
Are you okay there, buddy?
I think, yeah.
Okay. Danny made this face
made this weird face like
he's choking or
Well, I felt an itch in my throat, so I don't know if I should swallow or cough like crazy.
Anyway.
No, I'm okay.
Good. Do you need a glass of water, buddy?
No.
Okay.
Not yet,
Do you need me to massage them apples? I mean,
my apples don't hang on my throat.
Whatever. Okay. Anyway, we're here. We're back.
Yeah.
And it feels good to be back.
Yes.
Just a little bit of housekeeping that we want to update you on is we have decided that we will be taking summers and December off.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're moving into what we call seasons. So our first season will run from now until May. And then we'll take June, July, August off. And then our new season would be shorter, and it will be from September to November. So that's what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
And we're aiming for 2 episodes a month.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important to be on the newsletter.
Except for that, I think there's a month that there's 5 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, it's still going to be 2 episodes a month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then we're just aiming
Sorry, guys. Dreams crushed.
We'll be aiming for once a month, and if not, twice a month newsletter that we will send out. And hey, the newsletters are a great way to actually get free information. Also, it's an additional way to get free coaching. We go deeper in our newsletters too. And if you're I'm struggling on this, our newsletters are always a great way to get some free coaching, just like our podcasts are.
Yeah. When you're ready to rip each other's faces off, just think about the newsletter and read it. Or better yet, just sit
hire
down,
us to be your coaches.
Sit down and listen to the podcast, you fools.
All right. So welcome back to 2025. We are excited for your husband and your wife and all the new things that are happening in the Danny and Jenny world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today's episode, we are going to be talking about how to cultivate a love that you deserve in your relationship. So,
do you deserve love?
It's the question you should be asking.
And if you feel like you do, why?
Exactly. why do you feel that you deserve love?
Because God made me to be loved.
Okay.
So
tell me a little bit more about that.
That's all I got. That's it. God made me. That was it.
Okay.
That was my
well,
best
let's
shot.
talk about it biblically. It said in Genesis 3 that it was 2 that it wasn't good for man.
Oh yeah. It wasn't not good for man
to be alone.
So he made Eve. And to be his partner, to be his helper.
Yeah. To complement him.
Yeah, to complement him.
To do life together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To share responsibilities together.
Mm-hmm.
And so since the beginning, since the conception of
harmony.
Yeah, to be in harmony. So since the beginning, human beings have been created with the need to
the desire.
The desire. There we go. That's a great word.
The desire to be loved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's to be loved. So if you are in a season where you're like, man, I don't know if I am feeling fully loved in my relationship, we want to share some tools that can hopefully motivate you to pursue that, to explore that, to cultivate some love. So you got to tend it. You can't just be like, my husband, my wife doesn't love me. The question you should be asking is, are you also cultivating a culture of love and intimacy in your relationship? Because I can't expect Danny to be the only one that's constantly like giving me some love and I'm not reciprocating that in return to him.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Danny can't be the only one receiving and I'm not the one receiving.
Yeah.
At that point, our love tanks are not being filled. So it needs to be filled and watered.
Yeah.
So one of the ways that you and I guess the question would be like, how do you feel, or what helps you feel loved? And again, if you haven't listened to the episodes of the 5 love languages, totally encourage you to do so.
Yeah, and then there's also a book that you guys can read.
Yes.
That has it's a pretty cool like little test toward the end of the book that you guys can take as far as knowing what your love language is. It's a simple kind of like, what's your favorite color? Red or green? So it's like
simple multiple choice.
Yeah, simple multiple choice. Sorry. So yeah.
Yes. So I guess my question to you is, what are some ways that you feel that you and I cultivate love towards each other?
We definitely make the conscientious decision to have time for each other.
Yeah.
To carve time. I think today it's very, very easy to get caught up on the busy schedule and got to do this and got to do that. And definitely for those of you who are parents, that's pretty much your entire lives. Like it's just, appointments and schedules and play dates and all these things. And so I can only imagine how it must feel when you have those moments where you're like, okay, yeah, I have a husband, but I feel like I haven't seen him for the last 2 weeks kind of thing. Vice versa for you moms out there.
Or dads.
And dads, yeah.
Who stay at home also, because both mom and dads.
And so one of the things that has helped us, I feel, has been just, the action of making time. And yes, sometimes that, at least for us, and obviously I'm only speaking for us, I'm not speaking for anyone else. But I feel like sometimes there are those moments where it's like, okay, that might look like having to sacrifice something that I was going to do with either someone or even just for myself, to be present with Jenny, regardless of what that looks like.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things that we believe and we've shared with couples is like, you have to reclaim your quality time. Like you have to take that back and not sacrifice it anymore or any longer, but claim it back and be very intentional about it. And we get it, as Danny was saying, especially for couples who are parents and have busy schedules. One of the biggest things that we advocate for and that we've told other couples that have worked with us is you have to schedule your date night. At this point, it's no longer just a natural thing. It's like you have to be intentional. And intentionality, as Danny was saying, is action. And so you have to take the action to actually put it in your calendar. And make it happen.
Yeah. So, for example, lately, Jenny lately has been taking some time off from work, and she does a little. She likes to also tutor to just to not feel like she's stuck at home all day. And so what that's looked like recently has been a little bit different, because I'll go to work in the mornings, and then we only have one car. So literally by the time I get home from work, Jenny is getting ready to take off to go do some tutoring. And sometimes, she might come back an hour later, other times 2 hours. And then rarely does it ever go past that. But by the time she gets home, like, I mean, I'm a bit tired. I can tell she's also like a bit exhausted. It's not always fun to like, do work late in the evening. So I know that when she comes home, she's like a little beat. And so we kind of both feel it like, oh man, it's whatever, it's 8-9 p.m. I just kind of want to go to sleep, but then, Jenny had mentioned one time that, she was like, I feel like I haven't really spent time with you. And in my mind, I didn't think about it much, but I was like, I've been here. Like, I'm here every day, but it took me a minute to realize what she was saying. And it's like, oh, wait, I understand. Like, I'm coming home from work by like 4:30, and then you're literally getting ready to leave. And then when you get home, it's like, sometimes it's like 7, sometimes it's 8, and heck, sometimes it'll be close to 9. And so by the time you get home, it just definitely feels like we just have like an hour or two to ourselves, and then we have to go to bed and then do it all over again the next day. And so it kind of felt like, it did feel a little bit of pressure to like, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to like go to sleep because I'm tired, or whatever, do something else, or do I try my best to like, okay, let's really just spend some time, even if it is just for that 1 hour or 2. And so that's kind of been how it's been going for us recently.
Yeah. And we have Saturdays. I think we have a unspoken tradition that we've cultivated of Saturday mornings. We are very intentional of either A, going out to breakfast, or B, me making breakfast and being at home and relaxing and whatnot. And I think that's big. Sometimes couples feel like they have to go out on a date. A date doesn't necessarily require you to go out. A date can be as very creative as, let's build a puzzle together. Let's, read a book together and talk about it. Let's
and even then
play
like
a game.
Even then, it's understandable how like some couples or a lot of people might feel like that really doesn't feel too much like a date for me because I'm still at home. Like, I need to get out, or I want to just a different setting. And I feel like that's still possible if
go for a walk.
If wherever you live, like there are areas that you could literally just go and hang out. Jenny and I have done that too, where like, our place is literally really, really small. So we can only stay inside.
My brother's garage is bigger than our little place.
Yes. To put it into context, our apartment literally fits in my brother-in-law's garage. Literally. It's one of those things where for us, we do feel it sometimes, and we're just like, we got to get out of here. And so, we'll kind of do that. I mean, granted, we're not rich. We're not making a crap ton of money. So it's not like we can go buy a bunch of dumb stuff. But,
Yeah.
We just, we're fortunate enough to live in a city where there's like a couple of parks, a lot of good parks. And so, we'll just drive out and just go walk around and just get our mind off the routine of life, and just, have conversations and reconnect. Because again, it's too easy to just disconnect and get used to the routines. And the next thing you know, you're like, oh wait, I'm married, but I don't feel like I've been married, or, don't feel like it's going anywhere. And so
something that we've heard a lot of couples who are parents say is like, Jenny, Danny, we are exhausted, like by the time that opportunity comes. So I guess the question then you have to ask and answer sincerely is 20 minutes more of a sacrifice worth it in order to keep you and your spouse happy and connected? Or is 20 minutes more really going to impact you negatively and choose to continue to be in a relationship where you no longer feel connected? We're not saying choose an entire day, choose an entire hour or anything. 20 minutes a day can look like, you know what? We haven't showered together in a long time. Let's get in the shower.
Let's get naked.
Yeah. 20 minutes can look like the kids are finally asleep. Yeah. Let's put candles in the freaking bathtub. Let's make a bubble bath. And let's both just relax because we're both very exhausted. We are acknowledging, at that point, you are both acknowledging that you are physically, mentally exhausted, but you are also creating an opportunity to take your exhaustion and connect by doing something that will relax both of you guys as individuals, but also connect you as a couple. It can look like 20 minutes outside in the backyard and taking your favorite drink, hot drink or cold drink, whatever it is, outside and just sitting and talking about life and talking about asking your spouse, how are you really doing?
Yeah. And then I know that sometimes, like, at least for men, we kind of feel like, oh, it's just a bunch of more work, or, I'm trying to do everything I can to like please my wife and stuff. It doesn't always have to be that way. It doesn't have to be seen as like another chore. Like Jenny just mentioned, yeah, if both parties are in that moment where it's like, I'm ready to pass out, like I just want to sleep, or, I just want to unwind and do nothing, then unwind and do nothing with your spouse.
Exactly.
Who said that you have to like put on a show?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're all human. We're not perfect. We can't do it all, and that's okay.
It can look like also just cuddling in the bed.
Yeah.
Giving each other tiny, small massages.
There's absolutely no need for a list of conversations or topics that you need to have. If it literally means that your best night is just laying down and nobody says a word,
but you are connecting
but
and
you're there, it's possible. You can
hugging
have that.
And
that's doable. You can do it.
Doable. It's crazy what touch and quality time can do to couples.
Not only that, but it's very interesting how sometimes just being silent.
Yes.
I mean,
being present.
God's always showing us to be still.
Yes.
Because we're so accustomed to like doing stuff and we're thinking about, tomorrow and the day after, and weeks from now, months from now. God's always like trying to get us to just be still.
Yeah.
Be still and know that I'm God. So is it possible that we can actually implement this phrase into our lives within our marriage?
Absolutely. I think sometimes it's the smallest gestures that really impact our marriages. Like, for example, I know that there are moments where you and I have just laid in bed, cuddled, and just laid in bed. Cuddled. Without having to say a word to each other.
Yeah.
Or simply like hold hands and just be quiet as we're walking. We don't even talk sometimes to each other. But it's just the idea of holding hands that builds a connection, and that it makes me understand that Danny's there for me. And if I need to say something, he'll be there to listen, or vice versa. If he needs to say something, he knows that I'm there to listen.
Yeah.
You know, it's really like finding the smallest meaningful ways to be able to connect with each other. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that can look like writing a note. If your person loves notes, letters from you, a card from you, do it.
Yeah.
Take your lunch break. Write a text message letting them know how much you love them or how much you're thankful for what they do for you. Sometimes I do that with Danny. I'll just randomly just text him and say, I love you. And he's at work, you know, and
I'm like, oh, I'm at work, Jenny, God. No, I'm kidding.
No, but then that creates an opportunity for him to also just tell me sometimes. I'm not expecting anything else from but Danny all of a sudden will be like showering me with so many words, and I'm like, whoa, like that actually felt good. I was writing it because I wanted you to know that I love you, not expecting anything in return. But Danny then will like write these things and how thankful he is for our marriage and whatnot. And I'm like, whoa, like that actually, I didn't realize that I needed that. And so thank you, because that means a lot. It can look like literally, planning a date and being intentional. If you haven't planned a date in a long time, I think one or the other should take that initiative. I think we have this idea that the man should constantly be the one planning a date. Ladies, let me tell you, Danny sucks at planning dates sometimes.
Yeah, guys.
But I know that we both need connection. And so I know what I want. And so I'll plan the date. I'll be more than glad to plan a date that I want to enjoy, and then just tell my husband, this is what I want to do. And all it takes for my husband to say, okay, let's do it. And yes, there's moments where Danny will take all of a sudden the surprise initiative to be like, hey, let's go out to eat. And I'll be like, whoa, that feels really good.
Yeah.
And so just take initiatives. I think one of the biggest things that I want to come back, Danny, that you said was when we were talking about quality time and our schedules being different, you said something that I think it's very important for us to remember is I said, I feel like we haven't really connected, or I feel like we don't see each other much anymore.
Yeah.
It is so important to voice what it is that you feel is lacking in your relationship.
And that is not to say that because you feel something is a little off, that, oh my gosh, my marriage is in shambles now. That's just, consider for us guys, I encourage you, women are very, very sensitive, and I'm beginning to learn. I've been married for over, we're turning 13 years in May.
Yeah. And this year we're going to be celebrating 20 years of being together.
Of knowing each other. And I'm beginning to see just now, like, Jenny's sensitivity. I mean, I knew that. Logically, I knew that. But I really wasn't too deep invested into, like, her sensitivity. And so now I'm beginning to learn that. And so thankfully enough, with obviously a lot of therapy and just good people in my life, I'm beginning to see things a lot more different and pick up on things that I didn't before. And so I want to encourage you guys out there, if your spouses, if your wives are saying, hey, babe, I kind of feel this or I feel that, please don't take it bad.
Yeah. And I think tone is so important. We teach this to our couples all the time, is tone is either going to be a deal breaker or a maker.
Not what you say, but how you say it.
Yes. So that day that I told Danny, I just said it. It was like a passing comment, like, hey, I feel like I haven't seen you. And I didn't come to him and be like, oh, Danny, like, oh, we're so, like, oh my gosh, I just haven't seen you. And I'm so, like, it bothers me. No, like, I actually said, hey, babe, like, I miss you. And I feel like we haven't seen each other. Yeah. And that is a powerful tool. It's not what you say, but it's how you say it.
Yeah.
Because you can say something that it's real, that it's authentic, that is true without having to offend someone. Yeah. If someone gets offended, it's because either A, you said it with an attitude, B, you were expressing yourself.
Maybe the intention was off.
Exactly. and so like, or C, the timing just sucked.
Yeah.
So you have to really think of how you say it and is it the right time to say it? I wasn't going to go ahead and tell Danny that I haven't seen him or I feel like I haven't, like we're missing out or whatnot. We're not connecting. If he was coming from work stressed, that would have been the wrong time for me to say that because he's already feeling stressed from work. And my comment, though all purposes and intentions are to connect with my husband, would have felt like another stressor.
Would have felt pressured.
Instead of an opportunity for him to listen to me and to be able to take into account what I had just said. So tone and time are like the two things when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that we have done to make sure to stay connected is for those of you who are people of faith, believe in God, our faith in Jesus is like a major cornerstone in our marriage. Yeah. And so one of the things that we love to do is we love to pray together at night and in the mornings. Yeah. Like as Danny steps away to go to work, I will pray for my husband as he leaves to work. And it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be there and get on my knees for 20 minutes. No, it's like, it's a quick, small prayer of like, hey, Lord, please bless my husband with favor. Please be with him and protect him. As you both know, we were both in education. So like, please protect the school because nowadays you have no idea what is happening with schools. So it's like, please, Lord, protect them, be with him, give him favor with our superiors. Things like that. It's speaking life towards my husband, and he is hearing me vocalize those things, but at the same time, we're keeping Jesus at the center of it. Yeah. And then it's so good to pray together at night when we go to bed because Danny usually is the one who leads the prayer at night, and we'll pray together, and we'll pray for our family members. We'll pray for, prayer requests, people who have sent prayer requests, things that are happening, our friends and whatnot. And we then go to sleep. But it's so wonderful to begin our day with Jesus and end our day with Jesus as a married couple. So we use faith as another opportunity to connect because for me, spirituality is a big thing. And to see my husband lead me spiritually is another way that I feel completely connected to him. So if you are a person of faith, if you are a person who like loves Jesus, believes in Jesus, wants God to be the center of your relationship, and you're like, God is the center of my life, then you need to start implementing that with your marriage too, in your marriage too. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I think the other thing is we invest in therapy.
Yeah.
We are relationship coaches, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we have it all put together. Yeah.
Definitely don't have all the answers to life. And, obviously we only have, 12 years going on 13. So, we still don't have the answers to everything. But, what we do know and what we have learned and the people that have been in our lives that have been of support and encouragement, we just share that with everyone, to let them know that there's hope. To let them know that there's someone out there for you if you're single and you've been wondering and asking why you don't have that special someone in your life. And so, we're just, again, we're here to be advocates for you.
Absolutely. So I think one of the most important things is to invest in your marriage or in your relationship.
Yeah.
A lot of times, I'm really loving this. Lately, we are seeing an uprise of couples that are not married and not even engaged, taking like coaching, relationship coaching before they which is so good.
Well, that also tells you that it shows you how messed up the current examples have been, because if it's leading people that are not engaged or or even in a relationship to already take coaching or whatever therapy, or just seeking help for a brighter tomorrow for their relationship or whatever, then again that just kind of shows you what we got to work on.
Exactly. And I think that's wise.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
Which is a really good thing. I think it's wise that if you are dating and you're like, hell, I want to know like if this is a person I'm going to end up marrying, before putting a ring on it or before saying, yes, I'll marry you. It's so important to invest in therapy or in coaching, because you will then know if you are aligned. You don't have to wait for premarital counseling to be engaged. Like you can do premarital counseling or coaching before you even get engaged. A lot of the times it's wiser to do so, because then you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. And so investing in tools like coaching, courses, therapy to grow as individuals and as a couple is going to foster connection. Like I've seen so many couples be like, wow, I didn't think coaching was going to help. And at the end, these couples that were like on the brink of a breakup or divorce. They were able to grow in connection because both parties were invested at that point. Both parties were saying, yes, we want to do this. Both
parties were willing to put in the work. So
yeah. So I hope, this episode reminds you of the importance of cultivating connection and love with one another. It's very important to do so.
Yeah.
The older you get in your marriage, like not just in age, but as a couple, the older you grow. So for example, Danny and I are now 12 years older in our marriage. We have grown 12 years, 20 years of being together. Granted, a broken engagement somewhere in between there. So like in that span, we're growing in our marriage. We're growing in our relationship and connection. The older you get, the more intentional you will have to be.
Yeah.
Because then it will feel like I'm married, and it will feel like a routine.
Yeah.
So remember why you fell in love.
Yeah.
With a person that you share a space with. And
as Mufasa said to Simba, remember. Simba, remember.
So definitely reflect on what brought you together to that person, what attracted you to that person. And if that person has changed, don't be quick to say, well, that person has changed, so why am I going to even bother? Pursue him or her and ask, why has this person changed? Curiosity versus judgment.
Yeah.
Be curious. Why has my husband changed? Why has my wife changed? Oh, she became a mom. Oh, he became a dad. Oh, he got a new job. He finished school finally. He's a career guy now.
He has a third nipple. Yeah. Oh, he has webbed feet. Oh.
Or no, sorry, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not gonna entertain that. Okay, but they went through some health issues.
Yeah,
health, like things happen in life, and instead of being like, well, my husband or my wife changed, it's their fault, and instead of putting the blame on them, enter with curiosity and ask, why have they changed, and what can I do for them to feel themselves again?
Yeah.
Or to feel loved again.
Yes.
Any last words, babe?
yeah, I mean, that's obviously that's not it, but yeah, just encouragement for everyone out there. Life is hard. It's not kind sometimes, and just letting, just sharing some encouragement to let people know that love is beautiful. It's, it's kind, it's patient, it's everything that, that Jesus says it is. And so all we have to do is just do our best to replicate God's love.
Yeah.
That's it. As best as we know how. We're not perfect. He knows that. We're flawed. We're broken. He understands that. But if he can love someone like us in spite of all of our crap, then the least we could do is love our spouse the same way.
Yeah.
So, yep.
All right.
Okay.
Well, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Yeah, email us.
Email us.
contact@dannyandjenny.com. Your question can actually become an episode. So if you're like, hey, I have this question, we would love to answer that question to you directly and or through an episode. If we feel like your question is something that other couples are experiencing, trust me, you may be the lucky person that inspires another episode.
Yeah. So don't be shy.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful day, night, whatever it is, whenever it is that you're listening to this. On your way home, on your way to work. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah.
We've missed you. We've missed this.
We're glad to be back. Glad to be back. And we'll be back for the next one.
Yeah. Till the next one.
See you guys.
Adios. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you have any questions, would like to get in touch with us, or even inquire about our services, then please visit our website at dannyandjenny.com. Till next time.